Will this hack transform the cheapest keto noodle into the best keto noodle? In this video, we're gonna find out. We've tested over a dozen different noodle replacements here on our channel. Some of them we've made by hand, others we've just purchased. And they've all done a pretty good job, but we're always up for trying new things and sometimes going back to the basics. That's because we call ourselves the Keto Twins Test Kitchen, where we love trying and testing recipes and products for all of you. So one of the most popular noodle replacements on keto, and it's the one that people mention all the time, is spaghetti squash. So why do people like spaghetti squash so much? It's pretty low in carbs. 1 cup of spaghetti squash has about 7 grams of net carbs, where traditional spaghetti noodles have 43 grams of carbs per 1 cup. Spaghetti squash has about 31 calories per cup, while spaghetti has 220 calories per cup. And it's also pretty inexpensive. We paid around $2.50 for this spaghetti squash. Honestly, it's probably one of the most inexpensive keto noodle options there is. You know, some of the other ones that Sarah and I really love, like the Noodle Revolution, that's about $5 a package. And then the Imi ramen noodles that Sarah and I love and buy all the time, that's like $6 or $6.99 a package. Sarah and I have never made spaghetti squash on our channel. A lot of you guys ask why, and it's not that we don't like it, it's okay, but sometimes it's just a little meh. And so when I was scrolling on TikTok, I came across a hack that pretty much said that we're all cooking spaghetti squash wrong. And this technique allows the spaghetti squash not to be steamed, but to be roasted. I always found spaghetti squash to be kind of like wet and moist. But when you roast it this way, it should be like dry and longer strands. Because spaghetti squash, if you cut it this way, it's going to be cut short. But before we start, we're gonna talk about the sponsor of this video, Element. Element is a delicious electrolyte drink mix with everything that you need and nothing that you don't. That means lots of salt and no sugar. Element contains a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams of sodium, 200 milligrams of potassium, and 60 milligrams of magnesium. Sarah and I incorporate Element into our lifestyles every single day because we love the way it tastes and it helps us on our keto journey. That's because when you go into ketosis, you shed a lot of water, and inside that water are your electrolytes. This can leave you feeling tired, having muscle cramps, and nausea, also known as the keto flu. Element replenishes your electrolytes so that you feel better. Sarah and I usually drink Element in the summer months with water, but when it gets cold out, we love incorporating Element into our coffee. That's because they come out with limited release flavors. The new chocolate medley features mint chocolate, chocolate raspberry, and chocolate chai. This is a limited time release. And Element offers a no questions asked refund policy. Right now, Element is offering our community a free sample pack. It looks like this, so you can try all the flavors. That's 8 single serving packets free with any order from Element. You could try the chocolate medley and then get a free sample pack. In order to get this deal, you must go to drinklmnt.com/ketotwins. So the video that really caught my attention and made me want to try this hack was by Gabrielle St. Clair on TikTok. We're gonna be leaving a link to this in the description below if you want to check it out. She cuts the spaghetti squash a completely different way than Sarah does it when she makes spaghetti squash. So we're gonna be testing Sarah's version versus Gabrielle's version to see if it actually does make a difference and turns this cheap keto noodle replacement into something that's extra special. So first off, we're going to be preheating our oven to 350 degrees. The scary part though is that I can be a little bit haphazard in the kitchen. And spaghetti squash is notoriously difficult to cut, so maybe the new way will even be a safer route. So let's get started with the traditional one first.
Can you put your other hand on it and stabilize it or something? Press it a little bit down, keep your fingers flat all the way around. Slowly, it's gonna take time. Take your time. All of the seeds and all of the guts. I like to get all that stuff out.
So we cut the first spaghetti squash the traditional way, and it was quite difficult. So I'm worried that this is gonna be harder because I'm gonna have to cut it several times.
Yep, all the way around. Just slowly. So we all know what clickbait is, but did you know that people will purposefully try to make people angry by leaving on the stickers on the food so that people will comment on it and rage comment on it, and it's all about engagement. Please be careful.
This is me being careful. I'm gonna cut out the guts.
This way is definitely taking longer, by the way.
No one said that this hack was gonna be easier. That it was just better.
Okay. In the hole, not on the squash. Weirdo. In my mind, I'm doing it that way. See, because I'm like, doop, 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 doop. Like that. We never claimed we knew what we were doing.
2 middle-aged women on a cooking journey to hell. In she goes for 45 minutes at 350 degrees. It's been 45 minutes. We're gonna check on our squash. I don't think it's done, do you? I think we need to go up. We're gonna turn up the heat now. It's 15 minutes at 400. Let's give it a go. You want it to look roasted, be kind of brown, and it should look dry. We are deciding to just serve this with a bit of pesto because we don't want to like drown it in a lot of sauce. We're just gonna be serving it with some Buitoni pesto. That's my favorite pesto, by the way. We're gonna let these cool for about 10 minutes because they're super hot right now, and then we're gonna start shredding the spaghetti squash into the noodle shapes. So we're just gonna start scraping the spaghetti squash. We're gonna go with the traditional spaghetti squash first and see how it goes. Oh, look how short it is. Can you tell it's been years since I've had this? Oh, okay, look at that, whoa, whoa.
It's a lot, it makes a lot.
So the strands are really short, and yeah, we would just serve it like this. We are going to serve it like that. Here's our ringed spaghetti squash. We'll start going from the edge here. It's seeming like the spaghetti strands are longer and they're drier. We're gonna dress it in some pesto, go downstairs, and we're gonna try them. Yes, I know. It's not the most aesthetic looking dish we've ever made. Let's just get into it. This is the traditional one. Look at
That's all the strands I can get up.
That's really the strands. And this is when you cooked it in a ring.
Definitely a difference between the two.
This is way drier than that one as well. Let's just try it. You want to try it just... This has nothing on it. This is just a spaghetti squash.
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper. Very good. When you cook the spaghetti squash the traditional way, it's way wetter. It has more moisture in it. It's good. I don't know. I haven't had this in so long, but look at it. It's more like, it looks like hash browns.
Yeah, it's shredded more. And plus, I feel like the deeper that you get with the squash, the more raw it tastes. Because when you're cutting it in half like that, it's not roasting at the same level as if it's cut in smaller pieces. The smaller pieces of the spaghetti squash allow more air and more heat to penetrate the spaghetti squash and causes it to be more roasted tasting, in my opinion. So this is the ringed version.
I taste some difference.
Really?
This tastes like sweeter.
This tastes sweeter to you?
Try it.
Yeah, it does taste sweeter.
It's
more
like
roasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't think that I would have been able to notice that pre-keto, but after being keto for so long, it's like you taste the sweetness in vegetables. I'm kind of surprised that I like it so much. I even like the traditional one.
I have made this multiple times. I like the way that I do it, but I am tasting a little bit more of like that roasted squash flavor.
So in your opinion, did the hack work?
Yes, it did. Longer strands, more roasted flavor,
Drier. Worth it.
worth it for sure.
You heard it here. This hack is worth it. Definitely try this if you want to give spaghetti squash a second chance. If you didn't like it, because look it, I ate it.
All right, you ate it.
I ate it.
So this TikTok creator didn't include like directions at all. I would cook the rings at like 425 for like 35 to 40 minutes, but keeping an eye on it. You really want to look and make sure that it's brown.
Right.
That's what you want. You want to see it kind of caramelizing and all the sugars coming out. And
you could even flip it midway.
Yeah,
too.
you could flip it too, and so that both sides kind of get nice and brown.
Anyway, this was super impressive. Loved it. It's inexpensive. It goes great with almost anything. And you know what else is great? Butternut squash. However, that's not keto. But in small quantities, you can have it. If you want to see us make a beautiful butternut squash ravioli that's keto friendly using one of our favorite hacks, you can click right here and we will see you over there. Anyway, I'm Emily.
I'm Sarah.
And we are the Keto Twins signing out. I have forsaken this vegetable for so long.
For years.